Well, it's officially summertime. Baseball is happening all over the place. The weather's starting to warm up. People are hanging out at the pool. And hopefully you're drinking a little bit of whiskey. So we're going to talk about, I don't know, call it 7 bottles to drink this summer. Roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. Appreciate you coming on back, stopping by the channel. While you're here, if you'd be so kind, smash that subscribe button. Always need new channel subscribers. If you'd like, even share a link with a friend, family, coworker, anything. Drop a like, drop a comment, whatever. So let's just dive into what you're here for, right? You guys want to hear the bottle list. So it's summertime, right? It's hot. Most of the time, we're not going to be looking for super high proof, super impactful whiskeys. I mean, maybe if we're at a bottle share or something, yeah, sure. Or, maybe you're at a whiskey fest, that's fine. But if you're sitting in the backyard and you're hanging out by the bonfire, you're probably not going to want to drink 140 proof. Me personally, in the summertime, I like to deal with, like a 90, mid 90s proof. I don't want to, have something that's going to take my head off. So I put together a little list here, no particular order, but here we go. We're going to dive in. First up, this should not be a surprise if you guys have paid attention to the channel for any time. This is the American Fifth Small Batch Bourbon. And now this is aged, so they've been going up in age. So this is 80 months. So what is that? 6.5, right? 6 years to 72 months. Carry the 6. Like 6.5 years old. Like some of this stuff is starting to get a little bit older and it's getting really, really good. I love this stuff. I think this is marshmallowy and toasted oak in a bottle. I think it's great. These are aged in 32 gallon barrels, so that might have part of it, but I just think it's fantastic. It's a very small craft distillery out of Lansing, Michigan, which is about an hour from where I live. So whenever we're in that neck of the woods, I always try and stop by and stock up on these things, especially since the barrels are getting a little bit older. Next one, another Michigan distillery. This is Lone Light Spirits Small Batch Bourbon finished in honey mead casks. So full transparency, guys, right? Pretty sure this is MGP. Yep. MGP bourbon. It's coming in at 90 proof and it's finished in honey mead casks, right? Hang on, please hold. Yeah, finished in mead casks is all it says. But I happen to know the owner of the distillery. Joe's a great guy, really good at what he does, putting out some really good whiskeys. His tasting room should be opening anytime now at the time of this video. But he is neighbors with Bee Nectar Distillery. And if you guys are familiar with the beer scene in the Midwest, Bee Nectar is doing some really cool beers, ales, meads, all kinds of cool stuff. The Dude's Rug was one of my absolute favorites. I don't know if they're still making it, but if they are, that is one of the most fantastic bottles of craft beer that I've ever had. But regardless, Joe is taking his bourbon and finishing it in those casks. And for $45 or $50 to find a mead finished bourbon that tastes this good, you're going to be hard pressed. Now, I think distribution is only in the state of Michigan right now, but I believe that's going to be changing in the near future here. This is actually one of my favorite bottles to sample out to people because, I just think it's fantastic. So if you see this, go ahead and grab it. They do make a gin and a vodka as well. The gin is especially good, but I really, really appreciate the bourbon. All right, next up, we got the old Blandon substitute, Blade and Bow. So this is 90 proof, 91 proof. I think it's a 4-grain. I've been told it's a 4-grain. Coming out of the Stitzel Weller distillery, people say it's still got some old Stitzel juice in it. I don't believe that that's a thing. Also, I just heard myself use the word juice referring to whiskey, and I kind of want to kick myself now. But regardless, nice, easy sipper. I actually really enjoy the palate on this one. I get some earthy notes, some hay notes, a little bit of caramel. It's just simple, easy, attractive bottle. Made some lights out of these bottles. So it's a fave. It's sitting on the shelves for around $47, $48. So definitely you want to grab one of those. If you haven't had it, try it. If it's not your jam, it does have a little bit of a 4-grain funk to it, but it's not terrible. Next up, Penelope Weeded, coming in at 95 proof. This is out of MGP, so it's an Indiana bourbon, but it's a weeded bourbon. This has kind of been the darling of the budget world this year. It's coming in at like $39.99, so just under $40. It's really good. It's super available. It's sitting on shelves everywhere, and it's fantastic. It is really, really, really good for its price point. It's not going to light anybody's world on fire if you're going to compare it to like a WLW or anything like that. But for a weeder that's under $40 and is sitting on most shelves most of the time, you're going to be extremely hard pressed to do better than this one. Super cool label. I like how they got the wheat kind of etched into the glass. Presentation is just top notch. You know, it tells you on the bottom it is a 4-grain. I think it actually tells you what the mash bill is. Maybe. No, it's just, but it's non-chill filtered, 95 proof, straight bourbon whiskey, and it's weeded. Enough said, right? Under $40, you're not going to do any better than that. This is probably one of the more pricey bottles on this list, but it is one that I would recommend highly if you're able to get to the New York State area. This is the Taconic Distillery. This is their straight bourbon whiskey, and it's barreled with New York maple syrup, so double-barreled maple bourbon, release number 10, whatever that means. It's 90 proof. This one is just a really nice, solid, sweet sipper for the summer. I really enjoy this bottle. I haven't gone to it too much because it keeps getting pushed back in the review schedule, and honestly, I keep forgetting that it's there, and that's on me. This was sent to me by Taconic for free, so I really appreciate that opportunity, and I appreciate their partnership. If you guys are watching, thank you for the opportunity. I promise to get on this one soon, but it's out of Stanfordville, New York. So if you're ever driving through that area, maybe you're going to Niagara or heading up to Canada, stop by the Taconic Distillery. They've got some really, really cool stuff. I highly recommend the bottled and bond bourbon. That is another one of my favorites from them. 2 more. This one, every whiskey nerd is going to know about this one, but this is the Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. This is like a $44 bottle, $42 bottle. I got it on clearance for $21, 90 proof. It is a boo rye. So I think it's equal parts bourbon and rye. Not really certain if it's equal or what the percentages are, but Redwood is a California company. I believe this is all their stuff. It's aged at least 3 years, but it tastes a hell of a lot better than most 3-year bourbons that I've tasted. This should be sitting on most every liquor store shelf. If it's not, you need to tell your liquor store owner to contact their rep and figure out why it's not there, because there is no shortage of this stuff on the market. If Meyer was clearancing this stuff out, then you should be able to get your hands on it at MSRP, no issues. Just really good. Out of Sonoma County, California, I believe that for every barrel of their whiskey that they sell, Redwood Empire actually replants a redwood tree, which is awesome, right? I know that the whiskey industry is kind of destructive on the forests, right? Because we need a lot of oak to make our barrels, and that's kind of a drag because it takes a long time for a tree to grow. But if for every barrel that they're sending out, they're planting another tree, well, that's pretty good math. I'll take that. In about 20 years, we'll have a fully grown tree that's ready to be turned into another barrel. So good on them. Love their presentation. Some of their cask strength stuff is also very, very good. But this one in particular, this is a favorite summer sipper for me. I go through a couple bottles a year of this. And lastly, this is Trail's End 8-year Kentucky straight bourbon, but it's finished with Oregon oak. So if you're a little bit of a whiskey purist, a little bit of a whiskey nerd, this one is going to be directly up your alley. So this is 8-year-old bourbon sourced from Kentucky. They buy it, ship it to Oregon. It is aged there with Oregon wood staves. Why is that unique? Well, terroir is a thing in the industry. You mostly hear about it with like the wine aficionados and sommeliers about, oh, you know, the soil that those grapes grew in, it contributes certain flavors. Well, I personally, and there's a lot of people in the industry that believe that the soil in which the trees grew in that became those barrels, that matters. You know, you got some distilleries where it's like, oh, I only want to use the oak that was north facing on this side of the hill because we think you get the most wood sugars out of it, or it meets our flavor profile. But this is a great bottle. I've had it for a hot second. This is usually something I'll give to newer drinkers because it's really approachable. Again, 90 proof, about 40 to 45 bucks, I think. It's 8 years old, so it's not young. For me, I get a lot of dark fruit notes out of it. A lot of like raisin, stone fruits like cranberry and pomegranate. But then I also get like those classical notes, vanillas, caramels, a little bit of oak. There's a slight tannic-y vibe that I think comes from the lower proof, but this is a batch number 2, so I'm sure if you were to get a newer bottle, that's probably either been like blended out, or as things get a little bit older, it's kind of been refined out. Maybe I just even got a bad batch. Who knows? But I think it's fantastic. It did win double gold in 2016. I don't know if you guys can see that. Not that that means anything. Whiskey contests are all rigged, but well, that's it, guys. 7 bottles for you to drink this summer around the bonfire. If you're not sitting around a bonfire, maybe having a cigar, dude, figure it out, man. Life's too short, you know? Go light up a stick, have yourself a pour, enjoy the summer, enjoy the warm weather. It's here for a very, very short time. But that's all I got. I'll see you next time. I hope to see you next time. Cheers.